Now, with the next general election in Nigeria less than 2 years to go, leaders of key opposition political parties in the country are still preoccupied dealing with the fallouts of the last one. The pair of People's Democratic Party and Labour Party seem to be the hardest hit, as both are currently being reported to be the twin arrowheads of coalition-building efforts with 2027 elections in mind. However, with apparent lack of internal democracy and accountability fueling discontent within the parties, how can they achieve a clear pathway to equal competition with the ruling party? Well, lawyer and prominent actor Kenneth Okonkwo played a key role for the Labour Party during the 2023 elections, but he recently resigned his membership of the party, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Mr. Okonkwo. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And good afternoon, the viewers, for tuning in.
All right. Well, your exit from the Labour Party comes amid what we definitely know is internal conflicts. What specific governance issues or ideological differences might have led to your departure?
I am a man who believes that Nigeria, as of now, must begin to build a democratic political culture rooted on good governance. And democracy starts from the party level. Any party that cannot guarantee internal democracy amongst and within itself cannot give Nigerians democracy. Any party that cannot organize convention congresses for its members to emerge cannot give Nigerians free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. Charity begins at home. And so the opposition, if they want to be taken seriously, must live by example, not by what you say. Talk is cheap. You must walk the talk. So we have come to a level and I've come to a stage where I have grown that I am not going to accept anything that is less than at least the acceptable average. And if I'm in any party and they are not ensuring internal democracy, what will I preach to others? That they will make them to believe me that I am fighting for democracy. That I have not seen in Labour Party, and there is always a time to call it quits. And that is what I have done.
Well, it seems that you are definitely throwing in the towel with the Labour Party, but are you done with the entire political scene as well? We've been hearing reports, and obviously this is what happens when there is no strong opposition, movings and meanderings and certain alliances growing. We've seen closed door meetings with former President Olusegun Obasanjo and some other key stakeholders. Would you be willing to join some type of coalition, some type of opposition? Would you join another party? Are you going to be defecting to APC? What exactly is your political future concerning the country?
If you know who I am, I don't quit. I've said it before, and I'm going to repeat it again. When I came into partisan politics, my loyalty is not to any political party or any politician. My loyalty is to the country, to the constitution, to the people, before I begin to contemplate political party and politicians. And so I don't quit. I've made up my mind I've come for the betterment of Nigeria and to be a servant. And I've made up my mind that stable democratic culture is the best way to go. In this, I will not quit. But when I am in a midst of a people that do not share the same ideology, who believes that strength or might is right, and who believes that you have to do it anyhow, provided you're succeeding with it, that it's a success. Whenever I'm in the midst of such people, and if they have vowed not to change their ways to the right way, I will quit them. Because tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are. Tell me, the scriptures said, evil communication corrupts good manners. So you cannot be in association with people who are obviously not moving in the right direction and claim that you will be the only saint amongst them. So I do not quit, and I will not quit. So I do not defect, because my membership of a political party depends on that political party, not on another party. So the strengths and weaknesses of the party I am in is what I consider to join or to leave the party. Since I am not a man that is double-faced, I'm not used to double alliance. When I'm done with one, I'll conclude it, and I will withdraw, and then I will strategize, and I will think of the next way to go. Coalition will always be better, because democracy is about numbers, it's about cohesion. The more the merrier. The more we are together, the happier we shall be. If the opposition is serious at making any attempt in 2027, and one reason that I left Labour Party, by February 25th, the next election, presidential election, will be 2 years. And legitimately political alliances, alignments and realignments are supposed to commence. And then there is a party that has not even articulated who their leaders are, and they are not even willing to make compromise. And so from that 2 years on, is it believable that Tinubu has spent 2 years in office? Yes, it is. 50% of his time. The way the last 2 years just got evaporated, that's the way the next 2 years is going to be. So any party that is still broiled in a lot of controversy and confusion and conflicts will likely not even be qualified to contest for the 2027 election. So coalition will always be better. A broad base of people of diverse culture, diverse ethnicity, diverse religion, coming together, making the necessary sacrifice and compromise will be the best thing, and the only thing probably that will take out this incompetent APC. This APC government has been really very terrible. Their arrogance is legendary, and their ignorance is palpable. And I give you an example whenever I make any assertion. The ignorance of APC, you heard as they are talking when they were making budgets. Everything is rising in price. The tariffs. Electricity tariff is going to rise probably by 65%. You can see how even telecommunication has risen. You can see we are still paying a lot in transportation, in energy, etc. And this APC government had the audacity to tell Nigerians that in 2025, they are going to reduce inflation to 15%. Meanwhile, we are suffering cost of production, induced inflation. How on earth is this possible? This is sheer ignorance, and this is sheer arrogance in admitting that you have failed. So seeing all these failures, it will be also the failure of the opposition that are not able to articulate their stand, come together as one, and take out this incompetent government.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo, you've made it very clear that you're not a quitter. I believe we had a spokesperson for the NNPP.
No, I am not.
That's clear. I believe we had a spokesperson for the NNPP, Ladipo Johnson, who hinted about possible collision with individuals and not necessarily with parties. And we had Arabambi yesterday who made it quite clear from the party that you just left that they're not going to dine with the devil, more or less. So you've given a bit of the metrics of what the ideal coalition would look like in terms of diverse culture, religion, and the likes. Given the current state of affairs, if you were at the center of it all, how would you pick and choose? What would your ideal coalition look like if it was all in your hands?
My ideal coalition should be the coalition of the willing. It will be the coalition of the competent, coalition of the men of character, coalition of men of capacity, coalition of men of conscience, coalition of men of creativity, coalition of men of commitment, coalition of men of consistency.
Mr. Okonkwo, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Proceed.
You're mentioning the values, but if you don't mind also putting names to these values, we'll be grateful for that. Please go on.
Well, you see, Nigeria is a country where they give you honors, even when you have not done anything to merit the honors. Remember, when Obasanjo was in power, he even now started proactively giving honors, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, to a president he wants to swear in. Meanwhile, it is an honor that is due for former presidents. So you cannot say, I should name names, when people should come into the employment. They should be quizzed. They should be interviewed. Their character should be put on the line before they are admitted to occupy any insensitive post. That you are popular, that your face is being shown everywhere, should not make you to be qualified to hold any sensitive post in that coalition. What is your history of integrity? That's why I'm mentioning the values, because I am not attaching any person to it. I am attaching values. So whoever is qualified, no matter who you are, should be allowed to assume the position. So we should talk about values and then employ people, allow people, make way for people who fit into these values to occupy such position. So I am not going to mention names. Let it evolve and let the people that fit into these values take over the coalition. Let me remind you of what Majek Fashek said. Say, let the righteous take over the earth and let the workers of iniquity be chased out of creation. That is my prayer. Let all the workers of iniquity be chased out of our democratic experience and experiment so that our expectations as a country will be achieved.
Fair enough. Fair enough. A couple of questions just because we're running out of time, and I definitely want to hear your response, pick your brain over this. One, what's to become of the Labour Party? It seems like there will be mass defections. Some of their hardest hitting individuals seem to be leaving the party screaming and running and screaming. That's the first one. Second is Peter Obi. He was the proverbial rock star for those new to the political reins in the last election. He seemed to have given the Labour Party some kind of a boost. We don't know exactly where he stands. So in your opinion, what should he be doing since you yourself are running for the hills from the Labour Party? And third, we heard ex-friends or ex-political friends, probably still political friends, but El Rufai just recently dropped a little bit of a bomb on his former close ally, President Tinubu, stating that he might get the good luck Jonathan treatment in 2027. What say you about these three topics, really quickly?
Well, first of all, what do you think will be the future of a party where their members are defecting in droves and they are busy fighting for positions? Your house is burning and you're chasing rats. You know how many members of the House of Rep have defected from Labour Party to other parties? Party of substance will go to court to fight that they will regain their seat because it is obvious, written in the Constitution, you defect, you lose your seat. But what are they busy doing? They are busy chasing shadows. They are busy chasing money. They are busy telling you that a national chairman from Southern origin will go and have a presidential candidate from Southern origin in 2027, and they are telling you they will win. They just want to use whoever is the presidential candidate as a cash cow so that they will use him to attract the other people that they will extort money from. Now, the future of Labour Party under the present government of Labour Party, purported leaders of Labour Party, is already sealed. Any party that is begging people to come and that they will have only one presidential ticket to give to anybody is a party that has already failed. Because in Nigeria, we all know that there are many qualified Nigerians who would want to lead this country in different capacities. So a country that 2 years to the time is telling you they have only one candidate, and they are pleading for the only one candidate to come and take their ticket. The candidate has not even said he wants to run under that platform. Tells you that the destiny of that party is already settled. It is in the pit. And watch it and watch what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that, as I said before, all this talk is very cheap. If the opposition, the person you just mentioned that said Tinubu is going to have Jonathan's treatment, let him first of all remember that before 2 years to the next election, APC had been formed. And APC involved practically all the opposition parties with position in Nigeria. The ANPP, the CPC, the ACN, the new PDP, and of course, the half portion of APGA. All the opposition parties. So if you want Jonathan's treatment, you have to do a Jonathan preparation, anti-Jonathan preparation. You don't have it, you are just talking, and talk is cheap. So I would want them to walk the talk and know that there is no more time, because 2 years runs like Ben Johnson. So what I'm saying is that there is a need for preparation. And when you prepare well, you get results. For now, I'm just hearing talks. Indeed, many talks are going around, but it has to be matched with action. So there should be a need for action for all the opposition parties. They should have to make sacrifice, sheath their sword, talk less, and do more. And of course, they would have to convince Nigerians that they are better than whatever devil they want people to chase away. They have to be an angel before the people will say, for the sake of this angel, we will need to chase away this devil, assuming that they want us to believe that APC is demonic. And indeed, APC has proved that they have become a scourge to this blessed country. In a place in Nigeria where everything that the masses need to survive is rising in cost, and the leaders are profligate, even increasing the cost of their own personal maintenance on the taxpayers. First subsidy is gone. They promised us that when they remove first subsidy, they will use the revenue to give us good roads, give us electricity. Now, we don't have electricity, we have darkness, and they are taxing us more for giving us darkness. I don't know. This government is strange, honestly. May God deliver us from this strange APC.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo, as we begin to round up with you, I'd just like to do a little reflection. Of course, you've kept it quite close to your chest, made it clear that you're not a quitter, and we look forward to seeing what's next for you. But at some point when you were...
It's not possible.
Of course. But at some point when you were with the Labour Party, something attracted you to the party. You spoke as passionately about the party then as you're doing now, even though it's on different experience. But what do you think went wrong? Was it a case of the party being infiltrated? How did things go south?
Well, after talking today, I'll be very reluctant to talk about Labour Party because I'm not a member of Labour Party. However, I am going to talk today, and by tomorrow they will become former. Sincerely, when I got into Labour Party, the first interview I gave, I could remember in this particular seat, because when I resigned, this particular station was the station that called me for an interview. I said I was obicentric. In other words, what I was doing then was centered on a candidate, not a political party. I didn't even want to be a member of Labour Party because I did not know the people who are the leaders of Labour Party. We needed a platform to express our dissatisfaction with the status quo. And we saw the platform, and the platform welcomed the candidate. And I now said, look, I do not know this party very well. I want to campaign for this candidate. I'm looking for a new Nigeria. However, they informed me that if you don't carry the party along, during the election day, you're not going to see the name of the candidate on the ballot. You're going to see the name of the party. That means it would have been a wasted journey if you have been campaigning, if you have been proclaiming, and if you have been uplifting a candidate without uplifting the party. That was how I now had to marry them along. And that was how I joined Labour Party. So after the election, of course, in my own opinion, I believe we won the election. Whatever anybody might want to say, I respect the person's opinion. But in my own opinion, the only reason that there was technical glitch was to steal our election. But that's, by the way, that's done. I believe we would have done better and done more to secure our mandate. But after that, we would have gone back to the drawing board to make sure we secure the party with everything that is within us. We would have gone back to the drawing board and started having a meeting of all the elected and all the stakeholders at regular intervals to educate them on our ideology, to make sure that everybody is moving in one direction, to make sure that we start preparing for the next activity that we needed to do. I wanted to believe that because we came in talking about integrity, the integrity should be seen in our congresses, in our convention. That did not happen. And all the people in Labour Party, including me, both the political leadership, both the party leadership, we all failed. And when you fail, you pay the price. The consequence of failure is that the system becomes anarchous, becomes in a state of disrepair. And so we are now running helter-skelter when we ought to have consolidated and be recruiting more people. All these people that are defecting, today they would have been defecting into Labour Party if we have done what we ought to do.
Well,
but people are leaving Labour Party in droves.
Kenneth Okonkwo.
Yes, people are leaving Labour Party in droves.
We are out of time.
Because we did not do what we're supposed to do.
We thank you for joining us. We know you're a former member of the Labour Party. We hope to speak to you when you join a new party or re-engage the political scene. Thank you so much for joining us here on News.